So welcome everyone to one final Firefox update, because I want to move on with other stuff and don't want to make a live stream then in a week or so. So short update here with the Pinephone here of previous videos and how actually all the Firefox cross-compilation fun started. So Pinephone here, previous videos. Here's an amazing dongle situation, obviously, with all the super nice hard HDMI cables. So desktop setup with a Pinephone, and so lo and behold, all the hard work with Rust and Cargo cross-compilation, where so many segmentation faults, so much frustration, so many build errors, but last but not least, at last it works, at least on MIPS and little endianess MIPS and the Pinephone also. Where is even, do we, oh, there's almost cursor. So yeah, graphic performance as per previous video. We found this initially, this is this bloody software cursor here without the bloody software cursor. Xorg mode setting nonsense, it's significantly faster, but nah, whatever. And so yeah, 8102 here, and zoom this a little bit more for you or something. And yeah, performance-wise, it is size optimized, this smart with some files size, which I need to refresh. So we could probably optimize this a little bit better, but yeah, just don't move the freaking Windows as long as I don't have a hardware cursor like previously implemented on the PS3 and SG Octane. Anyway, it's mostly, as per previous videos, long story short, it's just an issue of this secondary screen HDMI output thing. But otherwise, well, it feels a bit snappier than the, do I have still, I sorted it away already to keep the office sorted, but it feels a tiny little bit snappier than the previous video. Similar clock 1.2 gigahertz, 32-bit MIPS, 32 little Indian thing, but I don't know, is it, maybe it's twice. I wouldn't necessarily call it that usable, well, especially with this flickering bloody software cursor. I mean, I think, well, it's way snappier than, I would say it's way snappier. Maybe we should run some benchmark. Also, this has just-in-time JavaScript, just-in-time compiler, enabled the MIPS little endianess stuff. The code is there, but doesn't compile, so much to all the 5-year-old Firefox bugs of it was once upon a time implemented, but of course, even for MIPS 32 little endianess, relatively decent MIPS 32 R2 revision 2 stuff, it's like, yeah, it doesn't even compile because, yeah, somehow amazing code quality. Of course, if we do here something like just like Google, I mean, the performance is near. If you have a Pinephone and have some other system running on there, leave me in the comments how much that works. Maybe we should use Wayland. Maybe Wayland performance might be even more amazing. But yeah, I mean, it's not like super bad. But well, for 1.2 gigahertz, maybe somewhat acceptable. But yeah, it's, as per the previous video, it's 5-year-old kind of design, silicon stuff. But yeah, I would say, I mean, for occasional use, for thin client like use, logging into a lot of stuff, having an editor, having a couple of terminals, that probably is doable. We should definitely work out some hardware cursor and fix a lot of this bloody Xorg rated mode setting, glamour kind of modern code slowdown. Also, yeah, sometimes this stuff crashes. But yeah, complex code, Rust, Cargo, sandboxing, you get the idea. So much that can go wrong will eventually go wrong. I hope you find this usable or learn something. Also, among other things, how much work it is to keep all the stuff compiling. Now this stuff disappeared here. Maybe for, not sure what happened. No, could always be so many things, but yeah, I mean, probably don't get this for replacing your Horizon or Intel Core i9 desktop. I mean, it is, yeah, even the icons take a while to load and display, and otherwise, yeah, I will continue to optimize the heck out of it. The beauty is that due to the nature of T2, I find this smart optimization pretty, so the only thing we could have fixed optimized for O2, but yes, it would be too boring. And as I said, a lot of code normally doesn't run, so it just wastes space in the caches and memory. I find this smart thing of optimizing everything for size and only some hot files pretty usable. The only thing is our hot file database is a decade old, so I need to update that. And that the beauty is I can mostly do it on the Ryzen, meaning just having emerging my system from the sources with debug symbols, and then running it while sampling it with something like OProfile, and then having a histogram of the most used files and put those in the database. Once upon a time we had some script for that. I need to check where we actually had this. But yeah, 64-bit ARM, there you have it, polished in just some weeks' time with all the Rust and Caro cross-compilation stuff. Some more stuff to clean up, some smart optimization to make smarter, and otherwise, well, I will certainly not only use it for testing, also why others it probably needs to. This also is some not up to date. I will probably try to use it as a syn client, also for maximum ARM64 testing. We can also install a new Mesa. This is a new Mesa in the meantime has maybe a slightly improved support for this GPU. And then as usual, leave in the comments below what you think to all the ARM MIPS RISC-V stuff. Marco is there in the comments. Microkernel is never going, let's be honest, the microkernel is never going to, no, this will happen. I will first do, well, actually the order we will see, I'm mostly done with getting T2 in the 2020s century here, updating a lot of stuff, and this took enormous amount of time due to the nature of the complex modern Rust, Cargo, Meson and cross-compiling stuff. Didn't really expect to cross-compile Firefox this year, and now that we have T2 in pretty good shape, the only unfortunate thing is I still need to do some installer stuff, which I will do soon, like some tiny bits, and then I will switch to more state-of-the-art stuff, which is also what we have. So next will be RISC-V, and on the FPGA quad-core 32-bit stuff, testing T2 Linux there. Of course, we will keep T2 Linux maintained, but the big week of all week-long Firefox cross-compilation is done. Now we do more modern research. Maybe I do the just-in-time compile stuff first, because it's of course said that it is broken in Firefox. PowerPC never implemented, I think. MIPS currently broken. ARM might be. ARM I've not tried. What else is broken? MIPS. All right. Power. One thing. What did we patch recently? Was it Spark? Was there Spark in? Well, I think Spark. Was it Spark 64? Or was it MIPS 64? Or was it both? Maybe both. I lost overview. Patched so much stuff. But yeah, for my research and what we can use in our own products, I need this just-in-time compiler, like truly portable just-in-time compiler, and then microkernel. We will see. I will still target. Well, we delayed like a month now with this extra stuff. Also, yeah, it's kind of your fault. Of had you not given me this Pinephone, we would probably not have done this Firefox cross compilation. But it's always nice to implement and work around and configure new infrastructure stuff in T2. But yeah, we are delayed some month. But yeah, everyone certainly in IT knows how much time everything takes. You don't write JIT or OS stuff overnight. We will continue also maybe not to only do low-level stuff. We have like graphic stuff, like 3D stuff. Probably it makes sense instead of writing yet another proof of concept example of NVIDIA and ATI, which also someday we will do. Of Verge and Voodoo we have done already, and plenty of others, Matrox, Palia. Probably next it's better to write some Who kernel kind of thing from scratch. And I will probably do it so that I can use it for new stuff, but actually also soon will be a video, the commercial viability of writing your own kernel, so on the main channel sometime soon. But to have this usable, because certainly writing a whole desktop microkernel thing is a decade-long endeavor, to have this usable, I will probably first write a proof of concept and have something working for ARM64 running not on real hardware but only in KVM, to potentially have some more secure container stuff running, for example, for web services sooner than later, and then draft the same code base to be usable on RISC-V, because it is the future, and use the ULX FPGA stuff here, not only to run our Linux on, but also to do some RISC-V low-level stuff. And certainly that is something that many people will probably, hopefully enjoy in terms of not only low-level stuff, but memory management unit of RISC-V and differences between x86 and AMD. So this is for sure coming now, because the week-long or nearly 2 week-long, probably way too many videos, but this is just how much work it took. And speaking about work it took, still Silicon Motion, that is probably we don't need for RISC-V. Silicon Motion of that sort. And that's also because YOLO, RISC-V, not interested, whatever. How much time it takes, even if you have something highly automated like T2, every time with GCCs doing some lib32, Rust and Cargo being their own special snowflake, and Meson causing new regressions with each new version because re-implementing and reinventing the wheel. This is just documenting this IT here live on YouTube. I think some people enjoy it, and I hope over time more people enjoyed XF video. Silicon Motion. Marked XF Silicon Motion. Is it Silicon Motion? I hope it's because whatever. Maybe you could patch this, maybe you couldn't. Is it actually the same? I think it's the right file, right? Did I? But no, I committed it already. But you see also with the graphic performance of Glamour-based mode setting Xorg. I also want, because who wouldn't want this? Also cups somehow failed. Let's try cups again, because I just whatever. Also cups, as per the previous video, for everything it builds. Actually, we could shortly finish that. And then call it a day. And also maybe because it's always so much more fun to work on stuff that interests you and satisfy and fulfill you and so on, that I will probably in parallel, because otherwise it might be too boring to write for multiple months some barely working microkernel thing, mix in some windowing system, so probably as in bringing a microkernel up, doing some UI capable graphic server, multi-server thing first, so that we also have some not only boring debugging guru meditation and guru meditating over our memory maps and page folds and stuff, but also do some fancy graphic in between, including running on RISC-V and similar stuff. So what do we have here? Oh, this is I only YOLO'd that. Okay, fine. Somehow with this lib, this is what we've done earlier today. This lib32 also doesn't build flawlessly. This also has some strange regressions. So let's also, speaking about strange regressions. So you see, at least this lib32 stuff exposes some hard-coded stuff. So probably also next one to fixes some hard-coded packages. So it's from that point not the worst thing of doing this with some strange libdir name that I'm not the greatest fan of. But whatever, lib32, so this just links this file. I've done this earlier already with CRT1, then this is probably static C runtime stuff, maybe that probably works around this already. It's of course not a long-term fix, this is just like first proof of concept, and then we can still rethink not really the greatest. Even like after rebuilding RISC-V with lib32, it's like, nah. Well, it exposes some hard coding, so I mean, for that I'm thankful of, as usual, perfecting here the, as some friends say, the best Linux distribution, but some of my friends might be biased. And yeah, certainly always good to perfect some hard codings to use dynamic references to libdirs, but otherwise, maybe after all I might patch the compiler for that, because somehow this lib32 is a little bit, nah, that's, also, you build everything with lib32 and then GCC anyway doesn't find some startup files. I slightly wonder why the heck does it not look for them in lib32. It's like the only, so yeah, 2020, changing your bloody configuration stuff to lib32 to satisfy GCC, and then the only thing that doesn't find some C startup runtime files is GCC. Cheers, that is all life. 20 years of this insanity. I wonder why I'm not yet fully, completely insane. But given that I want to write a microkernel, maybe I'm insane. Marco says Pinephone was more for motivational thing. Yeah, it totally motivated me to get Firefox cross-compiled, which is totally amazing. The real somewhat depressing thing is with all the time going in there, the two, actually three platforms that I'm otherwise kept maintaining. PowerPC32 on 64, it works somewhat, and MIP64 and SPARC64, it crashes, which, yeah, but maybe someday, or the upstream people eventually get this fixed. But no, super amazing, because it totally made ARM64 much better, and cross-compiling in general, and cross-compiling Rust. So we've done so many things, and this allows me with this to ship Firefox cross-compiled, at least for the architectures where it doesn't where it doesn't segmentation fault because bugs and regressions and whatnot. Marco wouldn't honestly mind buying a flagship phone for $1,000 if it had mainline support, going to last for some years. Yeah, I mean, of course, the big vendors are unfortunately not interested in mainline support, which is obviously, yes, is also, I said this previously, right? In my opinion, we should have users install their OS they want. Maybe after Google, the US government should look into Apple. But yeah, this is a Samsung. It's not entirely broken, and it's only the back, but this corner, which probably is also not entirely in focus. So yeah, it's somewhat broken. If you don't have a case, I had already some glass pieces in my finger. Also, yeah, why the heck is this glass back to break stuff? But yeah, nothing, some carbon composite casing couldn't work around in some cheap way, and probably a reminder of maybe, even if you're hardcore, not using your phone naked, because breaks sooner or later. So this is a problem with flagship stuff, kind of sorter. Anyway, but yeah, more to commercial or otherwise operating system stuff in some upcoming video. Viability of new and commercial OS development. I have to go. We have this RISC-V stuff to install soon on a quad-core synthesized FPGA thing. The more of the we test, the better. Of these failures, there are RISC-V. So I see already here some stuff should. Also, this is funny that they link lib. Why do they link libld Linux stuff to lib32 when this is really hilarious? Either they use lib32 or this is really stupid. So yeah, this is unfortunately somewhat, but yeah, lib firmware, it's like, yeah, lib modules, this also should be share firmware. Maybe someday I patch this because lib firmware is really stupid, but now whatever. And so this, well, this is certainly completely unusable nonsense, and libgl. Also, do we need, all right, so this probably shouldn't be hard-coded, that should be, also mod Do we have user lib? Do we have a remote property? An empty directory? Why the heck? And is there something in udev, or actually there's some stuff in there, interesting stuff. I slightly wonder, do we need libterm info, or maybe I should try to build, you know what, let's try to clean here some stuff, because if we don't do this now, we forget it until tomorrow. The term info or in curses, term info in curses, because obviously in curses and ln. So this is strange. Why does it? This is a little bit. Okay, not the greatest fan of the syntax. I probably haven't written it like this. Never come to my idea to write it like this, but nonetheless, term info. I wonder. Maybe term info. Term cap. Don't really see that. Let's see. Maybe the package does it itself in the make files. Oh yeah, apparently maybe. Not the greatest fan of this link either, but maybe we should. Okay, you know what? I will better put it into the to-do of and curses no lib term info symlink. And where do we also Firefox apparently not RISC-V supporting. All right, anyway we don't actually have Rust and stuff, so Firefox, let's just, maybe you can compile it if you use another, there is theoretically LLVM and Rust support, but that would be some out of tree stuff that I'm not doing today. Let's just disable that for now. And what else you have in? All right, this was, oops, that was libx11, and that is creating here or not, or maybe also in, no, then so something like that, maybe even xorg server. Let's see. LNS, no. Grab ln s also in all of that. Xorg proto, interesting. Okay, that makes also somewhat sense. Probably, maybe I moved it even in the past or something. So yeah, maybe this shouldn't be lib then. Maybe actually we have here both. Interesting. Or do we have, maybe we at least should make both. It's interesting that, what is here, libx11 comport link seems to need somebody finds for patches. That's a IMAC template files. Nah. Fonts lib. Okay, so actually this is somewhat, nah, we actually should not lib, and then we should use the remove all of that. Oops. Probably should work, because it might be lib32 and whatnot. And but yeah, just some decade-old or 2-decade-old hard codings. Also, oops, this was also wrong. Shit, was here. Should save more often now. Need to redo some stuff. This comes from not paying enough attention of what you're editing. Oops. that probably might be most of it. Also, what do we have here? Okay, Vim is sometimes. Yeah, this is also, yeah. Maybe I add here stray build errors g vim open vim add all this temp or other dears, and native versus cross config also gets on my nerves. But yeah, so we have a cross-compiled Vim and Xorg for RISC-35. Thankfully, our FPGA has 64 megabyte of memory, so this is hopefully this tiny thing could be about the performance of a Spark Station. So that's it for today. I have to rush. Ours has released a brand spanking new BIOS today. Oh, amazing. I actually tested that, and it started, I said this right, ASUS. I don't have the highest hopes. I think maybe this is broken on ABM sites, or also maybe other people are not as lucky with the memory, and maybe other people don't notice as much just because I was very lucky, or maybe AMD had done something too good and they just didn't. I mean, like conspiracy theory of maybe they just don't want people to overclock the previous Ryzen too good or something. So 1.1 patch B. Maybe I try this now that we can flash the previous BIOS. That is not keyboard device issue. What's also they always improve system performance and stability, when in reality they mean also improve DRAM compatibility. It's like, yeah, I believe it also improve DRAM stability and making it worse. It's like, yeah. But yeah, I have the feeling, so I tried because now I could flash from Linux our previous BIOS and everything after this. So I flashed this and this was already the same verse. So much to that. So I don't really have the highest hopes. I might try it. Nah. So on the other hand, it's total waste of time, right? I mean, for what? I mean, maybe, yeah, maybe actually because my system is running perfectly, maybe actually never change a running system. But thanks for the shout out. I was looking for that, but on the other hand, it's running perfect. The only option not in the BIOS right now, and I would theoretically need a little bit, is USB power off in standby. But yeah. The Graver's 2015 Galaxy S5 Neo has the latest and greatest Android. It's like, yeah. One M frustration stream coming. Yeah, I hope. Well, I should still have the BIOS here, right? So, I mean, given this is also the difference between working with professionals and not. I think I have here. Probably this is long scrolled away, but test ROM, BIOS to flash ROM. I think this is a BIOS to flash. I named this BIOS to flash because that is what I wanted to flash. 11, or was it 1103, or yeah, you get the version of, also by the way, struct, in case you're wondering what kind of nice stuff is in your BIOS. I did for generic definition of setup data of, yeah, there is that uint8 stored in numlock fastboot, in case you wanted what kind of amazing, right? So what is the, was it 13? Oh no, I forgot. What was a freaking version? It doesn't matter. Anyway, we can now flash the BIOS, so all the other stuff is not as important, but probably given that I carefully fine-tuned it now and I don't really have hours of time to waste. This is also, yeah, BIOS update should not be, firmware update should not be hours of time also dialing in all your parameters and then testing it and compiling your Linux kernel, and that randomly reboots and machine check exceptions. That's, yeah, not the IT landscape I signed up for, also not at a new stable release. Anyway, so yeah, stuff compiling mostly nicely, some tiny stuff to improve. Otherwise it looks quite good. We could for a tiny, and then I really go home, which probably I should already do now, but let's see if RISC-V, do I have QEMU? I have in, also this is now 32 because freaking names, no, this exists, what have I done here? Oh, this is just LD, okay, well fine, whatever. Let's see if this is good enough for user bin vim loading. Yeah, off. Nah, thank you very much. So much to that. Can be something less. Okay, rsync at least tries to start off RISC-V stuff, so it has some chance. Also RPC bind of, nah, thank you much. Why? Maybe actually for other platforms it builds, just not for RISC-V, not that we really, okay, fine, I have to go. I can check cross-compile stuff from home. That's it for today. I hope you learned something, and to see you next time.